Hello there, this is Rom Wills coming back at you with yet another video. Once again, it is Sovereign Saturday. The path can be lonely at times. The path to becoming a sovereign man. Now, I've talked before about trying to get a circle around you, but let's just be real. If you have a circle of men around you who are on that path, you still gonna have times of loneliness. You might have one or two men who are on that path. Yes, but most of the time, you're gonna be by yourself. I remember a young man told me that decades ago, because he was one of those guys, he never worked for anybody. In fact, I worked for him one time for a bit. But he ain't never, even as a teenager, this back in the day when you had people delivering newspapers. This dude was a teenager on his 10-speed delivering newspapers and stuff. I'm gonna tell you what, and his thing was always being a sovereign man. It's lonely. It's lonely. I mean, I hate to say that. It's not like you're gonna have a crowd of people around you. Even if you in a business or something where you're dealing with a crowd of people. Like I've known some guys who've done event planning and stuff like that, and they still felt a bit of loneliness. Even when they're around, they might have been some guys who could get a bunch of women, still felt a bit of loneliness. It's not about having the bodies, it's about somebody being around you that's thinking the same way. A lot of people ain't thinking sovereign. A lot of people ain't thinking, I'm gonna have control over my life. A lot of people ain't thinking, hold up, I gotta make some sacrifices in order to have control of my life. You know, it's gonna be lonely at times. You know, seriously, you want to be like talking about, yeah, I want to control this, you know, I want to move up. Whether you want a job, you have, especially if you have a business, you're going to have a lot of people around you who, they're not there. If you really pay attention to most people in the world, they just followers. Let's just be real with it. The overwhelming majority of people are followers. They're going to follow in so many ways, even down to what they eat, how they wear their clothes, where they want to live, the things they're interested in. They're not really thinking. One thing about a sovereign man, whatever he does, is going to be in terms of what he wants to do. He's going to think about every single thing. He's not going to get some fancy car just because everybody else is getting it. He's going to get what he wants. He might get a modest car. If he gets a fancy car, it's only because that's what he wants. He's not trying to keep up with the Joneses. Shoot, the Joneses probably trying to keep up with him, you know? And I'm gonna tell you what, and I'm just gonna tell you just from personal experience, that can be lonely. That can be lonely. You could be in groups sometimes and you won't be able to discuss what you're doing because everybody there, they don't get it. I'm gonna tell you the truth, just for what I'm doing, I'm just gonna speak from my perspective. I lost count of how many times I've been called a dreamer. And I've been called a dreamer so many times for the things I wanted to do. Even when I just gave away just a little bit. Oh, he's a dreamer, he's a dreamer. Yeah, but I make my dreams come true. And that's just a little bit, because like I said, I've had 1,000 jobs, but every single job I had, I always gave the impression like, oh, this is just a stopping place. Every single job. And you know, you get people on there, you know, they're not sovereign, they're not thinking about controlling their lives. You know, they think, oh yeah, you're gonna be here. I've been told that on some jobs, oh yeah, Rom ain't going anywhere, Rom ain't. I was like, whatever. And I'm just gonna be real, some of it was some racism. That is another conversation, but seriously. But you know, I'm trying to do some stuff, trying to go someplace, and there's some people just ain't supporting you. I mean, seriously, and it can be lonely. You might even have to leave some friends behind. Some people who are cool because they not going. You might have to keep them at a distance. Somebody you might have hung out with, you might have to talk to them every now and then. Sometimes you might have to go forward, you know? If you're trying to mate, you gotta be very careful who you mating with. Very careful. I don't talk about relationships that much on here, but every woman is not going to be down for that. You're going to get some women, shoot, they just want to keep up with the Joneses. They just want to keep do what everybody else is doing. They might try to talk you out of it. Oh, baby, you can't do that. Oh, baby, you need to be working here. Trust me, I've had that too. Like, shoot, I need to do a show just on mating with the right woman. In fact, I'm gonna do that next week. That's how important it is. That's how serious it is. You gotta be thinking about it. Seriously. Because I'm gonna tell you what, there's gonna be times you by yourself. There's gonna be times when you're thinking, wow, this is crazy. There's gonna be times you wish there were organizations or a party, or just hanging out with somebody you could be with around other people who are on that sovereign path. And you might be able to find something here and there, maybe a seminar or something. And you trust me, you'll have room to get in at the seminar. Trust me on this. Trust me. It's not easy, but you know what? That's why if you look at it, people often use a pyramid. The people, they show the people at the bottom and the people at the top. The people at the bottom, that base of the pyramid is way wider than the top. And that's just how it is. A lot of people just going through life. And you don't look down on them or something. That's just where they at. If you working to be a sovereign man, you have to have that mindset. You have to be thinking, you know what? There's gonna be times I'm by myself. I can't hang out with everybody. Even when you go out sometimes, I don't care. You hitting the gym. You can't tell people what you're doing. When I'm out and about, I don't advertise what I'm doing. If people even ask sometimes, I say, oh yeah, I just work from home. Like that, I don't get into it. Because even when you tell some people, they gonna talk to you from their perspective. If they not sovereign too, they gonna try to tell you, oh, well, you can't do that. No, they speaking for themselves. Now, all that being said, if you can find maybe one or two people who are on that path, you network with them. Yes, you keep them in your circle. If you can find them. If you can find 10 people, shoot, you're really doing something. But you keep them in your circle. And it's gonna be tough, it's not gonna be easy. Shoot, you might not be able to really talk about much even with your family. Yeah, you love them, but they telling you get a regular job or something. They tell you get a regular job. You got to think about this all the way around. Because if you're really trying to be sovereign, that's something that you got to think about. There's going to be times. You're by yourself. Like I said, next week I'll talk about like really getting a mate, because that's very important for a sovereign man. But I'll talk about that next week. But I want y'all to think about that. It is what it is. It's something that you can't really worry about. It is what it is, okay? Because the vast majority of people on the planet just want to follow. They don't want to be sovereign. They want to be taken care of. They want to look to somebody else to bring in money. They want to look to somebody else to really take care of them, to decide how they wear their clothes, what they eat, what trends they get into. They're following. They are following, but that's not you. So you automatically, just because you not following the crowd, you not following the herd, you automatically in a lonely place, all right? It is what it is. And I'm gonna tell you what, it's not a bad thing, because you would rather be sovereign and only be around a few people than a part of the herd and a part of thousands. I want y'all to think about that, okay? So anyway, that's all I have for right now. I'll get back with y'all. Peace and blessings. Well, I ain't even say the ending right. Keep rising to become the sovereign man that you are meant to be. Now, peace and blessings.